host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. Hope you all are having a fantastic day. I am excited because you know what? At first I was like, I'm not going to go live today, but I decided that, it's quite a bit of questions that come into me throughout the time as the Balance Doctor. And I think it's important for us to just have some discussion surrounding some of those topics. And we can talk about it. That's the beautiful part. We may not even all agree upon what we're saying, but we can come together and have a conversation. And so during today's episode, I just want us to talk about a few things, and especially women out here. Let's have some conversations, share your input, your thoughts on some of the things that are questions that come into me. And again, I'm not going to necessarily pose the question. I'm just going to put the topic out there and let's just talk it through. So make sure you all go ahead and tag your friends and invite your friends, family, coworkers, church members, everybody you can to tune into this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show as we just have discussion. Is that fair? Put it in the comments section if you agree. Yes, it's time for us ladies to just talk a little bit, but we're talking where the men can hear us too, right? And so feel free to make it as much of a safe space as you want, but keep in mind other people are literally seeing this, so we know that. And this show, the Kim Jacobs Show, streams in over 100 countries as well. So other countries are even getting the opportunity to witness some of this conversation. But I think the more transparent we are and being able to really talk through some things, it can help. It can just help people no matter what walk of life they're in, what capacity that we're all as women trying to just get through this thing called life in a way that we model our lives after some kind of blueprint, right? So I know for me, my blueprint is the Word of God. That's important to me. Put in the comment section, what is your blueprint? What do you model your life after? What's your guide? What do you say? This is going to be my go-to, my source, my strength, my inspiration, how I'm going to govern my life accordingly. Talk to me and let's make this a conversation. Please do not have me up here talking all by myself, okay? So let's have a conversation about it. And let me see as you all come in and let me know, hey. Yeah, real talk. We're going to have some real talk, Angela. Thank you so much for typing that. And as we have real talk, put any topics that you are just like, Kim, please, let's touch on this. That this right here is something that we need to talk about. So whatever it is that you all feel in your heart too that you'd like to talk about, make sure you put it in the comments section. And let's make sure we all just tag some people and invite them to be a part of this discussion. I know I have a mother dreamer group, and so we're always having conversations about a lot of different topics. So I'm sure they're gonna chime in today too. And if any of you all out there are a part of different women groups that you are affiliated with, make sure you tag them and have them come on in so we can talk, okay? All right, so let's see. Where do we want to start? I don't really have any like script or anything, but just a topic. So let's talk first about this whole theory about women that are staying at home working or women that are working outside of the home. Well, are you really a mother if you're working outside of the home and not staying at home managing your children? Okay. Please put your thoughts in the comments section because I get that question often. And what I personally believe is that a mother is a mother. A mother is a mother, you know? And so it doesn't matter if they're working outside of the home or if they're working in the home, because sometimes working in the home is even more intense than going out to the official job site. So for me, I look at a mom as a mother that is responsible for caring for her children in whatever capacity of life, whether she's having to go to take care of parent-teacher conferences, going to sporting events, going to dance recitals, going to, you name it, drawing and jousting and you all of these different things. A mother is so heavily involved in their children's lives from a nurturing perspective. But I do also believe that some things nobody else can do for your children is literally something you are equipped to do and equipped to handle. So I would like to know, what are your thoughts? Do you all believe that people need to stay home when they have children? Or is it okay for them to go out and work? And again, I don't feel like there's any right or wrong answer when it comes to some of these things that people have asked me about. But I just think that almost like this, really to each his own, in my opinion. But I do believe that there are different seasons and stages and phases of life, that sometimes your children do need you hands on, right there, front and center. I really cannot do it without you. And I believe that God has gifted you to be the person, meaning the mom, over that particular child. So, some kind of way, we got to work this whole thing out. Some kind of way. I'll give you an example. When I was working in corporate America, I actually would fly my mom and my mother in law with me to go wherever I was. So it was like all over the country. I was traveling and doing different things, but I was also nursing. And so what I would do is have my mom, my mother-in-law, either or would travel with me so that I could come between breaks with the job, run back to the hotel room and nurse my baby, because I nursed all of my children. So I nursed my baby and then I'd go on back and go back to the meeting. And then sometimes if it was going to be like a little bit of a longer meeting, I still would come and pump, and then I would go back to the meeting. So I would have that breast milk still there for whenever it was officially time for my baby to feed. And so I may feed at that time, but then also pump because I knew I was going to be missing a feeding session. So I think it's just a matter of being creative sometimes when you know that you are working outside of the home and doing. I'm definitely gonna tag Mackenzie here because I know she's a newer mom too, and we talk about some of these things often. So I just tagged her too. And Mackenzie works with me backstage. But I think anytime you are being a mom and you're working outside of the home, then using a lot of creativity and also being able to ask for the help that you need. Because if you're going to be traveling, then you know you're going to need somebody to travel with you in order to be able to not have to be away from your child for the entire week, if that's what's required for the job that you're doing. And then there are people that stay at home, and staying at home is a job. Okay. So I don't understand. Please, somebody chime in and tell me, what is this theory that if you're a stay-at-home mom that you're kind of less than? I really disagree with that. I think that being at home with your children too, if that's your choice, there are so many benefits to that because your children can come directly to you at any time. You're hands on right there with them. You're there. You're not having to take off of a job to be able to be where you need to be for your children. And it's a lot of benefits to that. You're able to manage the household in a CEO kind of role of, okay, I'm going to be organizing and coordinating this for my family. Is, in my opinion, just like working a job, but you are the CEO of your home exclusively. Does anybody agree with what I'm saying? Because that's, for me, it being a person that's an entrepreneur now in this regard, and I'm working sometimes out of my home. I feel like it's just as much work at home as it is when I was working in corporate America. There was no letdown, no gap as far as what's the difference here. The difference is both require full dedication, full determination, full commitment and discipline and accountability. All of these things are the same things that a stay-at-home mom deals with and a mom that works outside of the home. I know my mom, she worked outside of the home when I was growing up, and she would come home right when she get in the house. She literally, I don't even think she changed clothes, but she would come home and we would play board games. We would eat dinner. She would cook dinner. Or when I got into my teenage years and I was a cheerleader, in my uniform, y'all, my mom would be like, well, before you go to that game, you gonna cook that dinner. Like, mom, I cannot be smelling like fried chicken going out here being a cheerleader. And out there cheering. I was the most like spirited. I was like, hey, hey, I was like, I was really, really into my cheering days. I was like, we will rock you, got mud on your face, a big disgrace, man is gonna knock you right out of this race. I'll do all kind of stuff. But you cannot tell me anything as a cheerleader, right? So, but my mom, she would say, I don't care what you cheering. You're gonna cook some dinner before you go. So being a mom that worked outside of the home, I was what you would consider kind of like a latchkey kid. So I would come home, use my key, put everything down, cook the dinner, get ready for my game, and then head over to the game. And so I did that many times over when I was in my teenage years. But my mom and I worked together. So I knew she was working to provide as a single parent for us. So then if she needs me to clean the kitchen or she needs me to oversee my younger brothers, which that's a whole different conversation. Because one of my brothers was born when I was 16, and that right there is a lot. Okay. So one of my brothers was born when I was 16 years old. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm supposed to be taking this kid with me. Take him everywhere I go. But it ended up being fun and an honor to deal with him in that regard. But at the time, I didn't see it like that in the very beginning. I was like, who gonna be dealing with this kid? I'm 16. This ain't my kid. Anyway, I'm in a world over here by myself. Yeah. So being with my mom as a single parent, many of you all might be single parents too. Get your children to be involved at the level that y'all are on the same page and that you're agreeing to use some teamwork to say, hey, I'm attempting to bring these finances into the house. And as you can see, I'm being transparent. I'm dealing with a lot of this by myself as a single parent. So I need you to help some to offset some of the things at home, whether it's doing the laundry, doing the dishes, sweeping the floor, cooking a meal. Help a sister out, help your mama out, right? That's what sometimes the discussion needs to be if you're a single parent and you're trying to manage your children and your household and work outside of the home. So there are a lot of different facets to being a mother, whether it's a single mom, a mom that's outside of the home working only, and then trying to manage and pay for daycare and pay for people that's going to help watch your children and attend activities that you can't attend. It's that kind of mom. It's a mom that is married. And yes, now you have your responsibility of being great to your spouse, but also being able to still manage your children and their responsibilities and manage your job. Okay, I think women are super duper heroes. A lot of you all, it's not a cape. Sometimes people say, oh, take the cape off. Well, many times some mothers and women that are working can't always take the cape off because the cape is required in different regards. It's like, okay, I have to get up earlier than everybody else. I do that all the time. It's dark outside when I get up. By the time most people have worked an 8-hour work, I feel like I've worked an 8-hour work day in the morning and haven't even left the house, So there are different requirements that you're dealing with when you are a parent. So give yourself grace. Give yourself grace as a mother, as a woman. That particular area of focus being a stay-at-home or working outside, give yourself some grace and recognize that God won't put more on us than we can handle and that we can bear. So if for some reason you're one of those moms that experience guilt, that you're dealing with people putting pressure on you, well, I don't understand why you that kind of person always traveling, leaving these kids. You know what? Let everybody work out their own soul salvation with fear and trembling, because at the end of the day, you are accountable to God for the things that He requires from you in your life. And He has specific instructions for your life. And you know what they are. And if you don't know, ask somebody. Get some counseling, get some guidance. There are all kinds of books and Googles that you can Google stuff at this point to find answers and solutions for stuff that you're dealing with. Okay. So be encouraged as a mother, and don't let anybody guilt you and make you feel less than because of whatever decision you're making that you know is in the best interest of your household. And then there are times when some women and mothers are in circumstances that they did not know that they were going to find themselves in. So you're doing things that you said you would never do. I would never leave my kid and do this. I would never. It's a lot of times that there are situations like that, but because of the circumstance or the situation, now you may find yourself homeschooling. I know I'm guilty of that. I said, oh gosh, no, I'm definitely not nobody's homeschool principal and mama and all of that. Oh no, I had my friend Sean, she homeschooled all the time, right? And I was like, girl, what in the world? Why don't you just let the kids go to school? Guess what? I found myself being a mom that became a principal of a homeschool situation for two of my children. Two of my five children, I actually ended up homeschooling them. And I was not thinking that I would ever do that. So there are some times when you don't know what you'll do in a situation. You just don't know. And that kind of brings me to the other theory of being a parent of a child with special needs. That's again a mom. A mom is still a mom. A mother is a mother. A mother that's of special needs children is very different than when I mother my child that did not have special needs. Two totally different levels of responsibility because now you have to think of what medications need to be ordered. Are they getting here on time? Do they have what they need as far as their doctor's appointments? Are the doctor's appointments going to cover everything that's happening with the special needs that they have? There are so many factors when you are dealing with children that have special needs. You cannot let the ball drop for any reason. And there's certain types of people when you are seeking help from somebody else, because you should ask for help if you need it. But then depending upon the help that you're getting, if you have somebody that is against the way that you choose to deal with your children and their special needs, and they're like, oh no, I know how to get that special need under control. I got them. When I'm watching them, I'll show you what the special need is. You don't want someone handling, or should I say mishandling, your children. Ooh, you know what? There's a bug on my on my keyboard. You don't want anyone mishandling your children in ways that you would never do certain things to your own children. What is that about? It's like, you know what? God put those children in your care, under your watch. So for someone else to come along and decide that while they have access to your child, they're going to do what they want to do and handle them how they choose to handle them. Oh, I bet you they won't have this. Get done with them. Well, then that's not the right person for you to expose your child to. That is not the right person for you to trust with what God gave you. Okay? So there are so many different angles, and each of these are episodes, really. If we really want to deep dive into it, it would be more like each of these topics merit their own discussions. But I wanted to make sure that I answer that. So stay at home versus going out. According to, what was it, the Pew Research study, it said 11.3 million stay at home moms across the country is what I was trying to find, that one thing that I saw. Yeah. Yeah. It's actually, this was according to thehill.com. Anyway, it says 11.3 million stay-at-home parents across the country and 9.2 million stay-at-home moms. As far as, this is from a Pew spokesperson as well. So it's quite a few people that do stay home in the country. So keep that in mind as well. But if you do work outside of the home, don't let anybody guilt trip you at all about that. National Women's Law Center said something about a large majority of women with children work outside of the home, and 71% of American women with children under the age of 18, which says 77% of those women are ages 6 to 17, if they have children ages 6 to 17, and 64% of women that have children under 6. And then they went on to even talk about 56% under the age of 1 are in the labor force. So there are still quite a few people that work outside of the home. So it could be a healthy debate if you want to have a debate. But I just believe that it's not even debate worthy. Do what works best for you. Do what works best for your household, your family, your circumstances, your situation. And nobody else knows that better than you. And especially if you find yourself dealing with somebody that you've now either experienced divorce or your spouse passed away, or whatever the case may be that left you in a situation where now you're having to really figure it out all by yourself. If you don't have someone that is able to work alongside you in co-parenting, then that puts you in a whole different predicament. So make sure you're doing what works best for you. All right. Let's see. Any comments came in? I see you, Angela. You said, yes, some real talk today. Real talk. That's what we have. That's what we have. Let's see. My mom is on. You said, good morning, beautiful lady. Good morning to you, mommy. Good morning. And I'm glad you're here. A mother is a mother at all times. Yes. And I see you, Tashana. Tashana, you said, hello, Kim. Hey, Tashana. How are you? I'm so glad that you're on, and make sure you invite your friends to tune in and chime in. And sometimes people will put comments and thoughts, and it's totally opposite of what I think. And it's okay, because that's the beauty of a healthy discussion, right? So feel free to let your thoughts be known, whether they agree or are in alignment with what I'm saying or not, because we're all individuals. And that's the beauty of the freedom of speech, right? All right. So what we're going to do is we'll take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk. Let's see what we're going to talk about. Oh, let's talk about disrespect, because that's another question I had recently. Somebody was talking, just people pose all of these questions to me. And by the way, if you have a question or you would like to just talk about a specific topic, then I would love for you to email us at kimjacobsshow@gmail.com. I'm going to put that up here for you. kimjacobsshow@gmail.com. And you can share topics that you would like to have us discuss, or you can also share if you'd like to be a guest on the Kim Jacobs Show. Go ahead and send your story, your information, your book material, whatever it is that you say, I'll be a great guest on the Kim Jacobs Show, and tell us what your topic would be. We'd love to consider you, okay? So send it to kimjacobsshow@gmail.com. All right, so we'll be right back after this commercial break, and we're going to talk some more. Let's talk about how women can be disrespected sometimes. We ain't taking that. All right, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Kim Jacobs, the Managing Director of the Charlotte, North Carolina chapter of eWomen Network. I am so excited that you stopped to watch this video. I've got good news for you. You've just discovered an international network of women entrepreneurs who are committed to helping you achieve, succeed, and prosper. We're on a mission here to help 1 million women entrepreneurs each achieve $1 million in annual revenue. Here at eWomen Network, we have a complete success system that supports you every step of the way in building and growing your business. You being here right now is no accident. We're supposed to know about you. We want to meet you to find out how we can help you, as well as learn about what you have to offer. With over 500,000 women connected through 118 chapters across the United States, Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom, you are never alone. If this is resonating with you, please go to ewomennetwork.com/Charlotte. Notice too my contact information. I invite you to reach out to me and to check out our upcoming in-person and online events. I'm really looking forward to introducing you to our special community.
All right, everyone, welcome back. And I want to make sure you know that we do have events that take place with eWomen Network, and it's 118 chapters around the country. And so when you join eWomen Network, you actually are joining 118 chapters. I'm the managing director of the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And we have coming up on May 9th, actually, we have coming up. And so if you're watching this as a replay and it's beyond May 9th, then just check out whatever the latest events are that we have ahead of us. But what we do have coming up is a mastermind group that's online. So you can participate no matter where you are in the country. And we can take no more than like 12 individuals to be a part of that. And what happens is you share a business challenge, and then everyone else on the group Zoom gets a chance to pour into you some solutions to help your business. And it is a beautiful experience. I know it's really a game changer when it comes to business ownership and business entrepreneurship when you're dealing in a mastermind group that pours into you like that. So make sure you all check that out. I'll put it in the comments section if you want to register for that. And then it was another event. Oh, there's another event that's also coming up, and I'll put this in the comments section for you as well. And it's going to be at the Charlotte Museum of History, and that's taking place on May 16th. And then that event is going to be, that's going to be awesome because we're focusing on getting unstuck. Break the unstuck, how to master momentum and being able to get through, really having a breakthrough that helps you get out of being stuck. And so I'm putting that in the comments for you all too. So go ahead and register. It's on May 16th at the Charlotte Museum of History, and lunch is provided, networking, and a guest speaker, Felicia is going to be coming to speak from out of town. So she's going to be coming to Charlotte to be our speaker. It is going to be an epic occasion. So if you haven't registered already, make sure you use the link that I've already put in the comments section. And again, if you're watching this as a replay, which if it's not today, May 6th, then you're watching it as a replay. Then all you have to do is visit ewomennetwork.com/Charlotte, and you'll be able to learn more. And you can even join and put Kim Jacobs as your sponsor. Okay. So, let's talk about disrespect. Like what Aretha Franklin always said, RESPECT, respect me, right? Okay. So let's just talk about that. Why is it that at work we can boss up and we can do our thing and manage and demand respect and demand that certain things happen when it comes to how people treat us? And anybody that can relate, please put it in the comment section. I would say by show of hands, but you're virtual, so I can't see your hands. But listen, in the workplace, it's easier, at least from my personal experience, it's been easier to say, oh, no, that's not how you're going to treat me or how you will handle me. We're going to all be respectful of each other. And, I never really in the workplace have to command or demand any type of respect in that regard, because it's almost like it's somewhat of a given. I respect you, you respect me, we'll be cool, right? And so it seems to sometimes work, at least in my past experience, it has. But when it comes to sometimes in our family units, or in our relationships, or even in our ministries and whatever walk of life, when we're dealing with different committees and professional associations, it is almost like you're walking on eggshells because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings and you don't want to offend anybody. You want to make sure you're very careful and mindful, right? But at work, you're like, you ain't doing that to me. I don't know who you're talking to, but that's not how we're operating. Talk to me from your perspective, everyone. How do you handle disrespect when you're being disrespected in things outside of the workplace? And even if you want to talk from the perspective of being disrespected in the workplace, either way. But how do you go about dealing with that? I know for me, I can only speak personally. So when I see some of your comments, I'll pop them up as well. But for me, what I typically do is I focus on the issue, not the person. Because at the end of the day, we all have issues, And so you may not be somebody's cup of tea. If that, you hear that cliche often, and it's okay. So whether you are liked by everyone or not, it's not even, who cares? Because you're not going to be liked by every single person. That's not even humanly possible per se. But if you're dealing with an issue and there's disrespect, you want to address the issue, not attack the person. So I noticed that we're having a situation here. What do we both think needs to happen in order for us to get it resolved? And it might even require sometimes a third party mediator, because even when you're approaching the situation with someone that you feel is disrespecting you, they may not be able to hear you because you are the problem in their opinion. So stop talking to me. It's what they may be thinking. So they're like, don't talk to me. And you, guess what? They have that right, just like you have the right to say, I think I feel disrespected here. They may have the right to say, I don't like you and I don't want to deal with you. And so be it. What do you do? So then you have to try to figure out other alternatives to still come to the same outcome, and to be able to still have that happy meeting place. But sometimes it requires you to find out from that person, what will it take for us to get to a place where we can work synergistically for the common cause, or for the whatever the assignment is, or the project or the task that we've been assigned. So be mindful that we're not always right in everything that we think is the reason something is causing disrespect. It might be us that's the problem sometimes. And then many times it's not. A pickle of a situation when you see it. And so when that happens, you may have to sometimes seek advice yourself on, how do you recommend that I handle this with this person that is whatever the case may be. It might be a subordinate of yours that you're managing. It might be a peer, a contemporary of yours, and you have to work on projects alongside them. So you may not even be over the person all the time. It may be that you are directly peers with the person. So I believe that there's always a solution to every problem, and in everything can work out beautifully if you just attempt to come up with a solution. But sometimes that takes research. Sometimes that takes third-party mediation. Sometimes that takes somebody backing down and saying, I know I'm right, but I don't have to always be right. Every battle is not worth fighting. So there are some battles, it's like, Lord, I'll let you fight that battle. Is that right there? Battle's not mine, it's the Lord's, right? So you don't always have to be the winner in every situation that you may feel disrespected. And you know when you're disrespected. And most of the time, the person that's disrespecting you know that they're disrespecting you. But it doesn't have to always be, I'm gonna win in this situation. I'm gonna get you. Please, that is not even godly behavior. So when we are calling ourselves like representing Christ or being a model ambassador for Christ, because even when we attempt to so-called do everything what we think is right, it still comes across wrong sometimes, and it still rubs people wrong sometimes. So you have to. We don't see our. You see how you see this frame right here? I'm in the picture frame. I'm in the picture frame. Hello, everybody, the Kim Jacobs Show. Right? I'm inside the frame. I don't see myself at the level that you would see me. And that's how it is in society and life. When we're dealing with other people, we only see ourselves the way we see ourselves. But it takes sometimes outside experiences for people to say, I don't know what you think you see about yourself, but this is how you're coming across to me. And I'm outside of the frame. And this is how I'm viewing you and how you're rubbing me. And sometimes it's right. Sometimes it's wrong. And some adjustments need to be made so that everybody can have a pleasant experience. So, all right. Anybody had any thoughts about being disrespected? Do you ever feel disrespected in the workplace I'm talking a lot to you all as women out here. So how many times have you been in a situation where you feeling just totally jacked up and disrespected and disregarded? You have a great idea, at work and in the ministry or amongst these professional organizations, and your idea, you know, it's a great idea, but nobody wants to implement the idea. Why? Because they don't want to implement something necessarily that you see, even though it might have been a great idea. How do you deal with that? Does anybody experience that? And how do you actually handle it? Because I would love to hear your take on it, you know? And let me say this too, from a ministry perspective. I know when we are dealing, all of us should be servants. We should be striving to serve in some capacity and serving in God's kingdom and helping to build the kingdom in God's work. And that's inside of the church building and outside of the four walls. So out in the streets, in the community, being kind and neighborly and loving to people. I had an experience at, it was actually at my local food line, but I was at my food line, and this lady, she was struggling, trying her best to get her cart. She was sitting in one of those motorized carts, and she was trying to maneuver to get the cart around, and there was this big kiosk filled with stuff, and she could not get that cart to go around no matter how she kept backing up and moving her. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I felt so bad for her. I went over and I asked her, do you mind if I guided? And she stayed in the cart, and I maneuvered it for her and backed it up and turned it. And ultimately this one manager ended up coming and moving the whole kiosk. I thought the thing was permanent. I didn't even know it was like a movable fixture, but he moved it out of the way. And I was like, now see, that is an example of somebody that moved mountains for the person. So went to great measures to make sure that this customer was well cared for. And how thoughtful was that? I thought that was so sweet. Anyway, what are some situations where you feel like you're serving people, you're serving others outside of just yourself? Because there are people that stand in the need of assistance. And if you just go to any local, pick a grocery store, you're going to find some people in that grocery store that are in carts, and they're trying to reach up for items, and they can't reach it because they're sitting in the cart. What does it hurt to just say, can I help you? Can I get that for you? What item are you trying to get? The same lady, I asked her, I said, well, what other section do you have to go to today? I'll be happy to go aisle to aisle with you and be able to help you. Just make your life just a little bit easier. And it's not even just a female or male thing. I saw a man that was in a cart, and the lady was running around the grocery store trying her best to find somebody. And I said, you look like you're really struggling. What's going on? She said, the person I'm with, I can't find him. I said, oh, let me take you to him. I saw him, and he looked like he was lost too. So I took her over to him, and the two of them connected, and beautiful outcome. The point is, at the end of the day, think about other people outside of ourselves, because other people stand in the need of help sometimes. And my friend, one of my friends, she joked, she was like, okay, Mother Teresa of the grocery store, can you get out of there? I said, I promise I'm not even trying to be Mother Teresa of anything. I'm just being who God created me to be. You know? And so what has God created you to be? And what has he created you to do, to think of some things sometimes other than just you? Everything's not about us. Everything's not about Kim. Everything's not about you. It's about what God's will is for our lives. So what are we doing to show brotherly love and sisterly love to other people outside of ourselves? Anybody? Yeah. I'd like to hear some of your testimonies, But also, going back for a second, there are times when I think in different places that I've observed where the women are always designated to do the cooking or the cleaning or the decorating or I'm like, wait now. There's some women that can be preaching the word of God and ministering the word of God and tearing the house down in other regards too. Not only some of these stereotypical type of things. Please, y'all, tell me, do you think that women are capable of doing other things outside of just the cooking and the cleaning and the decorating and, stuff like that? And the welcome. Tell me. These are all some topics that I've been engaged with over the course of years, and people bring up these topics. And so I just thought I'd come on and let's talk about it some with you all. Because I think that women are great at all of those things, but I also think that women are also great at being able to be a daughter of the King, the Most High King, and being intellectual and sharing God's word and imparting the wisdom that He's given to us, the gifts and the talents that He's bestowed upon us as women, to be able to minister the gospel and to be able to share His word through the same level of study and intimacy that men have when it comes to being able to share and expound on the word of God and how He put it in their spirit to be able to share it. I believe that God has no respect of person. And what He can do for one, He can do for anybody. And you best believe that if God can use a donkey, then I 100% believe that He can use a man or a woman. But again, let me put, oh gosh, let me put the views expressed because I'm over here doing the most with my glasses. So give me a second, y'all, because we're having a discussion today. Okay. So the views expressed here on the Kim Jacobs Show are simply that of my own personal views, Kim, not necessarily that of CTR Media Network, in anything with the Mother Dreamer Movement, Gabe's Heart Foundation, Believe in Your Dreams, or any of those networks that I'm affiliated with. I want to make sure, Lit TV, I just want to make sure that you know that these are my personal views, and they're not always reflective of that of a show or an entity that I'm affiliated with. Is that fair? But yeah, I think I do believe that God, when He gives us the gifts and the talents that He's given us, that He expects us to use them. And so we know the parable of the talents. If you're going to just get one gift and you bury it, then at the end of the day, when the master came back, He was like, you slothful slug, basically. I gave you this and I trusted you with this gift and talent, and you did nothing with it but bury it because you were afraid that, I'll just be on the safe side and make sure that I have at least this when He comes back to check on things. But the person that was given multiple talents doubled their talents and was well pleased. When the master came back, he was well pleased because he was like, you did exactly what I expected. You put your gifts and your talents to use. And as a result of that, I am going to even bless you the more, as people say. I'm going to bless you even more because you had good common sense to go out and do something with what I gave you. So if you are the person that's sitting and resting on your laurels and not using the gifts and the talents that God gave you, make a decision. Make a decision today that no matter what, this nagging feeling that's deep down on the inside of my gut that will never go away until I start doing something that I know God has purpose for me to do, then I am going to start moving in the direction of what God has for my life. He already trusts me with this. He already gifted me with this. So now I am going to put it to use. Somebody, somewhere in this world needs what you have to offer. And the whole world is missing out, y'all, if you don't use the gifts and the talents that He gave you. And sometimes you don't know where to start because it's easy when people are running off at the mouth and telling you all of this stuff. And you're like, look, I don't have a clue where to begin with this process. Well, I will tell you that one thing that I offer is a training on how to start your own show from scratch. And so if you are interested in being a part of my next upcoming class, which I personally believe that the majority of people should have some level of a show. Why? Because it gives you the opportunity, if you already have clients and you have customers that you've already formed great relationships with them, it gives a one-stop shop, a place for them to be able to find you, to know how to connect with you on a deeper level, to be able to form that relationship with you, to hear from other people that you are going to expose them to by having them on as guests. It gives you an opportunity to let them hear from some of your teachings, whether it's from books that you've written, speeches that you've given, messages that you've preached, you are able to be that place, that hub for them to find you. And so I believe that motivational speakers, authors, entrepreneurs, business owners, you mothers, people that are everyday heroes that are trying to figure out what in the world can I do with all of these different octopus arms that I have. Where do I house it? House it on a show. House it on a virtual show that's your own show. That's your own platform that you're working to be able to come live, whether it's once a week, once a month, once every day, whatever it is that God is putting in your heart. But I actually walk you hand in hand through that process to help you create your show from scratch. So if that's you and you know that you've been thinking about doing that show, you're like, girl, I've been thinking about doing a show. I'm actually starting a training today with a group. But if you know that you're that person that's been thinking about it, contemplating, and not sure who to trust to get you through the process, you don't have to look any further because you can work with me and I would be honored to work with you, and I'll help you with some technical training too. Because on days when nobody's there to help you backstage, then what are you going to do? You cannot not function, right? You have to be able to know how to maneuver all of these buttons and still have a professional show. And so I teach you that technical training piece too. So you can reach out to me at 704-944-3534. Again, 704-944-3534, and learn more about our group training on how to start your own show from scratch. And yeah. And so I've had this show on PBS. I've had a show on the Word Network. I've been with NBC in the regards of being the balance expert and going out and doing balance makeovers for families that were in need. And Coca-Cola did some sponsorship of it where they would send me out, and I would almost kind of like the super nanny situation. I'd be like, oh, that is not going to work. Every time your child comes home from college, they are supposed to babysit your children at that point. No, that's not what they're coming home from college to visit you and to hang with their friends, their girlfriends, or their male friends. And now they have to come home and be locked in the house to babysit. Let me help you with that. Okay. We need to make some adjustments, or that child is not going to be coming home that often to visit mom and dad. Not if every time they come home, you're locking them into this responsibility. So I enjoy doing all of those things. I filmed at the old Jim and Tammy Faye Baker studio in Fort Mill, South Carolina. And so I've had some experiences, travel with Les Brown around the country, teaching people how to share their stories and earn income doing it. But I pour a lot of these things into you in this training on how to start your own show from scratch. So take advantage of it, because I only usually take a maximum of 5 students per class. And just like God, I don't have any respect of person. It's the first 5 that register, and the seats are what they are, and they're limited. But there have been some phenomenal connections being made between those that are in each other's groups. They really form a lifelong bond with each other, and I love it. So, all right. That's all I can think I want to talk about. I have lots more to talk about, but we'll talk about that another time, because sometimes I'll just come live and just have some conversation. Is this helpful to anybody, just to have some just random conversation about different topics that may plague people and bother them? And I like to make sure I pop on and do that periodically. Anybody? Was this helpful to you today? Let's see. Another thing I encourage you all to do is, if you would like to partner with the Kim Jacobs Show, and any of the episodes are a blessing to your household in helping to bring some level of balance. We come on Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And usually I have a guest. The guest is sharing their backstory. They're sharing stories and strategies and tips to help your life have better balance in it. And so if you know that you'd like to partner with the Kim Jacobs Show, make sure you take a moment, and you can send a Cash App to $Kimjacobsinc, or you can use PayPal, which is paypal.me/KimJacobsInc, or even Venmo at the Kim Jacobs Show. All right. Well, today again was just a general discussion about a variety of topics that I thought we'd just talk about for a little bit. At the end of the day, I want you all to be encouraged to know that no two households are the same. What works for your house may be disastrous for someone else's house. So even if we observe different people and we see that, whoa, that looks like that it's working really well, then it's a nugget that you can pull and see how it will work in your house. But immediately, if it doesn't work, stop doing it. Don't do something just because somebody else is doing it. And that may be working for them. Not to say that the way that they're doing it is wrong, because it's working for them. So we don't have to judge other people and their circumstances and situations, because I promise you, most of the time, we don't really know what is the deal. We don't know what those people have to go through to become who they have become today. People don't know your story unless you're sharing it fully with everyone. They only see what they see on social media. But what lies beneath the surface, beneath the battlefield? I actually wrote a chapter in a book about that. Actually, yeah, I wrote a chapter in a book that I am a contributing author. And let me put that up for you. Yeah, it's called "This Is How I Fight My Battles." This is how I fight my battles. In that book, I wrote a chapter on what lies beneath the surface of any battlefield, because there's shrapnel and all kind of stuff. So you can get the book if you like. But yeah, we don't know. We don't know what people experience and what they're dealing with. And sometimes it's traumatic. Sometimes it's not bad at all. It's just a beautiful life where they're not experiencing a lot of hardship and battles and issues. Sometimes it's like they had a beautiful inheritance, they have a beautiful situation. And I don't look at those things as I'm jealous of it or envious of it. I just believe that what God has for me is for me. And I wouldn't trade my life in. I would just not trade my life in. Now, let me be clear. If I had the opportunity to say that I would prefer that my son stay on this earth, of course I would ask God, please, Lord, please, 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 please. But even though I know God is able, even in situations like that, he, for whatever reason, makes the decision that no, I need him to come on home, and I don't have any control of that. So, speaking of control, there are times when we don't have control over certain situations and things that happen in our lives. But God is ultimately in control, and He knows the plans that He has for us. And they are good. They are good. They're not evil. And so at the end of the day, even though we only know in part, He has our back. He has our best interest at heart. And if we just trust Him and let the process go the way that He intends for it to go in our lives, and use the gifts and the talents that He's given us and represent to the best of our ability, and knowing that the things that we experience are light afflictions compared to what our Heavenly Father had to go through, we'll be all right. All right. All right, everybody. That's today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. I love each and every one of you and appreciate you. Let's see. Oh, Mother Harper. Hey, Mother Harper. She said, great show again. Thank you, Mother Harper, for always being so supportive. And I absolutely love you. I love all of you all. And thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. I will put this link over here in case you do want to partner with the Kim Jacobs Show. I truly appreciate your contributions, not just me, but that's how I actually take care of the staff and some of the production background subscriptions and things that's needed in order for the show to thrive. So you technically would be like a sponsor, because I'll be giving you shout outs too. All right. So thank you so much. And Joan Ford, I know that we just recently received a contribution from you, and I want to say thank you for being one of our new partners on the Kim Jacobs Show. Carrie Ann Hilliard, I thank you so much. You're always a great partner on the Kim Jacobs Show as well. Allison Skeet, and I have a whole list, and I'll definitely just always throw out some shout outs to you. Dayron Swan, thank you so much for being one of the contributors here on the Kim Jacobs Show. All right. Oh, hey, my aunt. Hey, Aunt Irma. I love some Aunt Irma and my Aunt Sadie. And they are definitely some of my favorite people on this earth. I would never ask God for better aunts than the ones that He's given me. Yeah, He gave me some great aunts. All right. All right, y'all. I love you all. I will see you again tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. What's tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow I have a lady that's coming on and she's going to be talking about how to deal with some deeper relationships and how to build deeper relationships. And it's through a specific system that she's going to be talking from. And so I'm eager to interview her. Can't wait to interview her. Actually, her name is Laura. And then on a Wednesday, we're going to be having a graduation of a young lady who's battled cancer. Her son passed away, and she is here to graduate from How to Start Your Own Show from Scratch. I cannot wait for her graduation to take place. So you all just tune in throughout this week, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show. Love you all and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you and making